Hi folks, welcome to episode 48. It is now the third episode on Vulcanus, and I'm still in that phase where I'm figuring out the mechanics of the planet. But one thing I know for sure is that this little base that I've got doesn't really qualify as a base. We've got to improve it, and I think one way we're going to improve the planet, as well as getting off the planet, is by advancing towards the Foundry, which is, I think, one of the main things we need for mining or production of materials. So I looked that up. It is a recipe here that I only have really one of the ingredients for at the moment. It is the tungsten carbide that I got established last time. But the remaining 4 ingredients I will hopefully get more towards today. So starting with refined concrete, I already have some concrete over here, but for the refinement, I'm going to be needing some steel as well as iron to go into the iron sticks. So that means we need to ramp up my smelting. As far as lubricant, we're going to be needing to get some heavy oil that will go into the lubricant. And how we're going to do that, I'm assuming, is going to be with the coal liquefaction. So coal liquefaction I literally haven't done since years ago, let alone in 2.0 when the recipe has changed. So that now requires coal, calcite, and sulfuric acid, which I have readily available. Calcite is over there. We have coal over here. I think we just get a refinery up, not worry about the ratios, and at least just get that started. And as far as the rest of the ingredients, the green circuits and the steel, I think will kind of solve themselves once we get more smelting up and running. So let's actually start with the smelting, because that will really influence the other products. And actually, before we get to that, I do want to specify that a couple things have changed in between episodes. Just for my quality of life purposes, I did get my platform kind of revamped. I got tons of materials now equipped on it that I can request, orbited down to me. In fact, let's request a couple materials now. We'll do some steel furnaces. I've already got bots on me. We'll do some of those. Oh, something's taking damage. But yeah, so now we can request a couple things as needed. So as far as the smelting build, it is not very high tech. In fact, it's a very dinky little thing, but we are going to just expand on it instead of reworking it, because once we get the foundry up and running, I think that's when we can completely remodel a smelting build. Oh gosh, lots of things are taking damage. Things are hopefully under control back at the main planet. Also, since I did get the platform back in the Vulcanus orbit, I was able to get some things recalled down, so I now have the logistic boxes that will hopefully improve my construction and logistic quality of life on the planet too. So let's just copy what I have going. I think we won't worry about copying the stone brick smelting, but I do want to copy this. So actually, do I want to copy that? Yes. Let me fix that. So we won't worry about ratios for the smelting setup either. Let me now copy this thingy. And we'll just do maybe 12 or so. How many is that? We've got one more to do. Okay. Wow. Bunch of things taking damage. Oh, a train. That's not good. Oh boy. Okay, back to what I was doing. So, smelting. Oh, we are missing some long-handed inserters, looks like, and that means we need to move these power poles. So let me clean this up for the copper smelting section. There we go. Hopefully we can fit in some power. We can repurpose these poles here in the middle. And, oh, I'm missing power poles here too. In fact, I need to copy that filter on there, or else it might actually grab some stone. Now I'm wondering if this will all fit. think I can make it work. Okay, perfect. Let's add in power back there. All right, so this is the smelting setup for copper and iron plate. And then I want to add in separate smelting for steel. I think I'm just gonna have a little division right here just so I know, where the steel line starts. And then we'll do coal line continuing right there. Stop this line here because I don't need the iron ore to continue, but we can have the output instead go on this line here. So that will go like that. Input of the coal, and then we can input iron just like that. And I think that will work. So we can now copy this for a little bit. And let's start with that. We'll stop copper here for now. Again, these ratios don't have to be accurate. I just want to get some small amounts of production up and running. I should now worry about green circuits. Gosh, I'm still getting attacked. For green circuits, we of course need the copper and iron plate. We already have that available on this line, so I guess we'll just continue it down. And then I think we'll split off, let's see. Let's split off copper to the right, like that. Actually, wrong. We'll switch the direction. There we go. Okay, so we'll have assemblers like this in the correct ratio. This will become copper cable, green circuits. We'll use long-headed inserters for the output, input there, and then inserters there for copper cable. Now we can copy this. And we'll just stick with 3 tiles for now, which is good because I'm going to run into that anyway. I'm already out of inserters, so let's call down from the platform. And a couple miscellaneous supplies. I think that will be good for now. Pick up what I can. Okay. Oh, more incoming. There we go. So I now have potential for steel, green circuits, and I've improved iron and copper plate smelting. But you'll notice the problem is I just don't have the ore to supply these smelters. The reason for that is because I've still been using my personal RoboPort to basically go around the fields and collect the nearby rocks and things like that. In fact, let's do that right here. But that's really why we have to get the Foundry up and running, I believe, because that will unlock the ability to mine the molten lava that will go into the other resources. So again, these builds here don't have to be big, they don't have to be even ratio friendly, but just enough to really start the first Foundry production. I'll take these resources and put them back in the box. Although I'm out of power, it looks like. No, I'm fine. Nope. What's going on? Oh, I just don't have a pull. Okay. Pull put back in. Let's put the resources back. Although bots should take those and I think put them where they belong. So we'll just have the bots do their thing. You can see smelting is picking back up. So that's good. So now I can make the factory for the iron sticks. And I suppose we can just pull it from this line here somewhere. We'll do it right here. This will become iron sticks. Iron sticks will go into concrete. I'm just looking at the recipe, so we also need the steel and the concrete itself. I wonder, so we have steel right here. Can we just make it right here? We can add in the water, and then we could just bot like a requester chest over here. Oh, and water is like literally right there. That's nearly perfect. Let's add in some pipe. Like that. We need a new RoboPort. I think I have those on the platform. Let's see, can I craft one? I can craft one though. Okay. Oh, iron gear wheels. We should probably get that on the bus somewhere. Not that this is a technical bus, but we'll need that eventually. Anyway, so power, we can direct insert. I'm not sure if one machine will be enough to really get me started though, but it's better than nothing. So the only thing I'm missing is the concrete. Let's put in the request right there. We'll request 200. And we'll do a passive provider box like that. No idea how many of these products we'll need, so we'll just cap it off at 1 row. I wonder if it's worth to try to belt this. I could maybe. Oh well. I do need to put this into a passive provider box though. In fact, maybe should we do an active? Nah. Okay. I do need, looks like, one more RoboPort though. Can put that right there. And this time I may find worth it to call down from the platform. I have 10 on me. And anything else worth pulling down? We'll just end it right there for now. Although I think we'll need the tanks. Okay. So that is green circuits, steel. We've got refined concrete. So that just leaves the lubricant, I believe. And let's turn this into a passive provider box there. Oh, carbon. How are we going to do that? Is there a way to automate carbon? Let's see, carbon. Oh, that's just coal and sulfuric acid, which I already have somewhere. So the sulfuric acid's just right here. And where does that get made? It gets made into a chemical plant. I can easily do that. Chem plant. We will do it. Where's coal? Coal's right there, but also right here. Let's build it right here. Carbon. Good to know I don't just have to go manually farming trees. Let's move that a tile like that. No idea how many of these plants we will need either, but that is about the easiest build we can do. We will also output this into a passive provider box and have the bots help me out. And also not sure how many stacks we'll need. Let's stack at 5 for now. Perfect. And how many bots do I have? I have 50 logistic, 32 construction. We will need more, but we'll add to that later. So last ingredient, again, is the lubricant. So let's grab these here. Do I have a refinery? I have 2 oil refineries on me. So let's plop that down. Eek. It's got to be somewhere where I can access the calcite and the coal. I guess let's do it up. You know, we could just extend the coal line this way. Let's do that. So we'll extend coal over here. Calcite will bring down. Like this. And then we can put, I'm just going to delete this so that I can send copper if I want to. And then we'll put the refinery right here. And then if we need more room, we'll delete that thing. Hopefully we'll have enough power to support this, but I'm feeling like we won't. So we need output, which will go this way. And what happened? Oh, did I get rid of a pipe or something? I must have. Okay. So this is coal liquefaction, which requires sulfuric acid, which I have just in line here, which is perfect. Oops, wrong pipe. There we go. Then we need the coal and the calcite. Now we just need power. And then, of course, now we need all the outputs. So I'm not sure if it's worth it to put heavy oil into a tank. It might be, just in case we want to distribute the products and use pumps and things like that to turn things on or off. I don't have a pump on me. That will require engines, which I don't have at the moment. I should have put those on the platform. I didn't think of it, I don't think. Here we go. So here's output. Heavy oil. I'm assuming we'll need to do some cracking at some point. But for now, let's just worry about the heavy oil going into lubricant. Although we should really expand this as well, because I know we're going to need more than one for sure. Let's start with 4. And then let's clean up this pipage going on. That's better. I'm already out of the long inserters. And delete that. Does that fit? Oh, we need one right there. Okay. All of the heavy oil will just go into this tank for now, and then let's add a chemical plant just below that. And again, this is where a pump would be really handy, but we'll turn this into lubricant. Gosh, this seems really slow. I think, oh, part of that's because that one's not working. I think I have some productivity modules on the platform, which I can call down. It would be really handy in the refinery and for lubricant as well. But let's finish setting this up. So we need power. We'll do another tank just here. And now we have lubricant. Perfect. I may need to add to this, but now I can think where the assembler for the foundry is going to go. I wish I had the electromagnetic plant. Would that even make it? I don't know. But I guess we'll just put it maybe somewhere over here. Although, how come this isn't making anything concrete? Oh, geez. Didn't have coverage. Okay. There we go. And that is concrete, right? Not just bricks? Perfect. Gosh, I really need more stone. Really need more resources in general. That's the whole purpose why we're trying to work towards the foundry so hard. Okay, so where we're going to put that assembler? I think just there for now. In fact, we will just direct insert. Whoa, you can see power is really dipped. That's what more production will do. We'll fix that in just a minute. So foundry. So we've got the refined concrete. Lubricant. Can I squeeze in like this? I would appreciate it if we could. We'll just connect it up here. Okay, there's lubricant. Other ingredients, green circuits and steel. Steel we have right here, which is perfect. Green circuits, maybe we'll just switch the direction. We'll go this way for now, like that. Although it's off by a tile. That little curve will fix that. Last thing we need is the tungsten, whatever this is called. And we're going to be lazy and just request that via bots. That is like the whole purpose. Where is that? Tungsten carbide. Okay. We will request 100. And then output in a little box over here. Also not sure how many we will need, but we are going to use logistics to enable or disable that, since this is not a cheap product. Where is it? There we go. We'll do less than or equal to 10 for now. And looks like the refined concrete is going to be the bottleneck. And that, for now, is because of iron plate being the bottleneck. So it looks like I am going to have to go back to mining some rocks by hand until I can get some more iron plate up and running. I should probably fix power, though, real quick. That seems like it's a priority. I am not sure how many of these can be fed, and looks like half of these aren't working anyway. We'll fix that. Can I just copy this? Had I known we would need steam engines, I would have brought a bunch more, but I think I can call that down from the platform too. So we'll call down, do I have any? I am not seeing them. Bummer. But I will request the productivity modules, and actually we'll do all of those. We'll use them at some point, I'm sure. Anything else worthwhile? We'll do 50 of those, 50 of those. And I guess more solar panels and stuff in the meantime. And then we could craft these by hand, but looks like no need. We had some of them. So we'll connect this up, I guess, like that. Looks like I have plenty of water for now. It's just really the steam engines I was low on. So power's already much better. We can add to solar, of course, now that we requested that. And now we can put the modules in the lubricant and refinery stuff. Do that there and there. And looks like I'm going to go farming for some rocks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and this is where we are going to end today's episode, because by next episode we are going to be ready to go with the new Foundry, and then we're going to be figuring out how to be using it. So I hope you guys will join me for that, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.